Hello, friends. Do you think animals can read situations as well as people? And even ask for help when in trouble? Or do you think humans interpret random animal behavior in their own way, ascribing intelligence to them? This story took place in the Brazilian city of Juazeiro do Norte. There are usually many animals at the reception area of one of the local vet clinics. They're waiting in line with their owners for their appointments. But for animals to come to the vet clinic on their own, this hasn't happened before. On one of the regular working days, the vet noticed a dog. It came into the clinic all alone. When one of the employees approached it, the dog stretched out its paw, showing that something was wrong with it. How the dog knew to come to this particular building, that this was the place where it could get help, will probably remain a mystery forever. The compassionate doctors decided to help the dog and let it stay at the clinic. Its paw was wounded. It had an ingrown toenail. Additionally, the animal had many skin parasites. The doctors didn't just treat the leg and get rid of the parasites, but also conducted a full exam of the animal. Tests showed that the animal had a malignant tumor in the area of the genitalia. The vets couldn't just let the stray dog leave, knowing that it would simply die on the street. The dog underwent surgery to remove the cancerous growth. The animal also underwent the first course of chemo, and the treatment has shown good results. De Silva, the employee of the vet clinic, said that the dog looks more active and healthy. But the dog will have to continue therapy, so the clinic is actively looking for a family to take the dog in and take care of it, while temporarily letting it stay at the clinic. The animal featured in our next story also came to people for help. The puppy was wounded, and its mother tried to attract the attention of passerbys as best she could. She couldn't help her puppy on her own, so people were her last hope. Therefore, when the man carefully picked up her puppy, the dog didn't interfere with him and even let the man take the puppy to the hospital. The mother dog couldn't go with them because she had 4 more puppies on the street with her. Fortunately, the puppy was saved. It required several days of treatment, but when the wounds healed, it was returned back to its mother. Just look at this heartwarming family reunion and also pay attention to how they treat the person that helped them. We can only hope that people will always be good and kind to them in the future, and that every one of them will eventually find its own loving family. A similar situation with a dog that came to a vet clinic in Brazil happened in the city of Kiev, Ukraine. The injured dog came to the emergency room of a hospital. They examined the dog there, but it was still sent to a vet clinic for treatment. The dog came in through the side entrance. It could barely move. It came in and fell, lying down right there in the hall. It needed help. It was asking for help, said neurologist Alla Laschuk. According to Alla, the animal didn't mind getting examined by the doctors, and if something was hurting, the dog only whined, but didn't bite. The doctors decided that it was a domestic dog, which either got hit by a car or got beaten up. The doctors called for the volunteers, and they took the 4-legged patient to the vet clinic. The vets treated the wound, as well as gave the dog antibiotics and performed other necessary procedures. Rescuers posted a photo of the dog online. It was seen by Alisa and Alexander, a couple that's been caring for the dog for the past 5 years. The animal's name is Naida, and it lived on the street with other dogs in one of the neighborhoods in the Borshavika district. It disappeared on New Year's Eve. She was always very smart, careful, and cute. I think some bad person just took her to a different neighborhood, says Alisa Kozashkova. The dog was returned to her neighborhood, but the couple is worried that someone might do something like this again, so they are looking for an owner for the animal. And this incident of people helping a stray animal happened when a disaster occurred. An old house collapsed. People haven't been living in there for a long time, but a family of stray dogs had made it their home. After the house collapsed, the female dog seemed to not have been hurt, but it was running around in panic, asking people for help. Passers-by realized that something must have happened to her puppies. The dog mother led people to where she believed her puppies had been trapped under the rubble. Only people could move the large stones, but then the dog actively helped them dig out her puppies. Surprisingly, even though the puppies were very small and still blind, they remained unharmed. Another story with a happy ending featured a kitten that got stuck in a metal pipe. There's a common misconception that if a cat's head fits through a hole, then it'll be able to crawl through the opening. However, that's not always the case. The kitten tried to squeeze through a rusty pipe, but got stuck and was asking people for help, because only they could get it out. Fortunately, a girl found the animal and managed to free it even without the help of a vet. The furry creature remained unharmed. When domesticated animals ask people for help, it makes sense, because they live side by side with people. But when a wild animal asks humans for help, it's actually shocking. After all, how does a sea turtle that's been living in the ocean for decades even know who people are and that they could help? This amazing incident happened to a diver during one of his dives, which began quite routinely. The man was swimming at great depths, observing the underwater inhabitants. Now imagine his surprise when a sea turtle, which under normal conditions should be afraid of people, purposely swam up to him. Getting over the initial shock, the diver noticed that a large mollusk shell had been stuck to the turtle's shell. It was unlikely to cause a turtle any harm, but it seemed to be causing it great discomfort. When the man removed the shell, the turtle turned around and watched it sink to the bottom, after which it began to slowly swim away. It is incredible, but there's no other way to interpret this behavior but as a deliberate request for help. For some reason, the wild animal knew that this person was the only living creature around that could help and remove the annoying shell. The turtle dared to ask for help, and that's not an isolated case. Once, a group of divers was found by a dolphin at great depths. The divers were surrounded by darkness, which meant that they were really far from the surface. Dolphins can hold their breath for about 20 minutes, but it's too risky for them to go so deep and so far away from the air. So why did the dolphin dive so deep? At first, the divers thought they caught the animal's attention with the light from their cameras and that the dolphin wanted to play. But imagine the divers' surprise when they realized that the dolphin was deliberately swimming in front of them, showing them its side with a fishing hook stuck in it. It was asking for help. The dolphin waited patiently for the man to pull out the hook and untangle the line. This process must have been very painful, but the animal clearly understood that it needed to be patient because people were helping it. Foxes are justifiably famous for their cunning. They are incredibly cautious and, being a small predator, perceive humans as a threat. But in this unique case, the fox came out to people on its own, and it was completely helpless. In search of food, the animal put its head into a glass jar and got stuck there. It was a life-threatening situation for the animal, since it couldn't eat or even breathe properly. So when the animal heard people, it went straight for them. Of course, the man helped the animal and removed the jar quickly from its head. It only took him a few seconds. When the fox was rescued, it quickly, but calmly, ran back into the forest. Looking at how purposefully it went towards the man, I'm confident the fox knew it was its only chance at survival. And that's all for today, friends. Share your thoughts about today's episode in the comments. Like the video and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.